everyone, and welcome back, my beautiful candy canes. So as everyone comes in, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share with a friend, because a kiki is always better with community. In today's episode, we are going to get into everything going on with Love and Marriage DC. Y'all know I was not watching it, but I binged it all just for you guys. So we can talk about the season, we can talk about the reunion, unpopular opinions, popular opinions, we can get into it. So as you guys come in, be sure to drop your candy canes and say hello before we get into it. Don't forget to also join as a member. If you want some exclusive member-only content, join as a member to the channel. But just subscribing and liking will help support as well. So let's get into it. First up, first things first, Miss Monique and Chris. Do you guys think they are really gonna stay together, or do you think that they're just fronting now for a season 2? Because everything that I've seen in the body language at the reunion, it seemed to me like Chris is no longer really drinking the Monique tea. I mean, he had this whole spiel that was actually really sad. He was like, I saw all these flaws in myself and I saw all the things I need to change by watching the show. And it was just, he sounded like a battered spouse. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, Chris, like, you were the one being disrespected. You were the one being criticized. You were the one being talked down to. But yet you're up here apologizing for her behavior and acting like you were the flawed person. Like, I don't really know anything that Chris did that was actually wrong. What's up, Velda? How are you? Hey, how are you? What is up? Thank you for joining. That's right, you guys. Say hello, drop your candy canes, and let's get into it. So that was that. I don't really see Chris and Monique lasting that much longer. Like, maybe if they get a season 2, then that'll be like the beginning of the end. Hey, Miss T says, hello, Candy and the Candy Canes. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? What is up? What is up? What is up? So that's kind of what I see going on with them. Now, let's break down the rest of the couples. And my unpopular opinion, or maybe it's a popular opinion, I don't really know. I'm Team Winter. I want justice for Winter. I think Monique did Winter so dirty, because when Monique was off in Tanzania, wherever she was, learning Swahili and hanging out and living her best life in the motherland, she comes back and messes up the whole dynamic. It's like, no, Winter didn't lie to you about what happened. She didn't even exaggerate what happened. She made the mistake of thinking you, Monique, was actually her friend. She was having a fun kiki with you. But Monique is still so wounded, and she sees everything through the lens of her own, I don't even know, like, you know how she is with Chris, her own critical, and like, she's just she's a harsh person, that she received it like they were fighting, when that's not actually what Winter said. But then Monique went back and brought the bone back and made the whole situation way worse. Like, Arana and Ashley even were kind of like, no, Winter, like, we actually think we probably would have been friends and things would have been fine if the whole thing with Monique didn't happen and come in. Like, to me, Monique was the weakest link of the entire cast. And I'm shocked by that, because I actually really, really liked Monique. And I'm still Team Monique with everything that happened in Potomac. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Like, I'm still Team Monique with what happened with Candace. But to me, she was the weakest character on the entire series. Like, it boggled my mind. Like, she was so rude and disrespectful to her husband. She didn't really get along with the ladies in any type of chemistry way. Like, none of them were actually friends. Like Arana and Ashley, to me, seemed like they became friends. Winter, I actually really liked, and I think she got the short end of the stick. I think she really got the big short end of the stick, and Monique really messed it up. Like, even when they were doing the whole couple detox sex party or whatever, Monique was like, oh, just don't want to ambush anybody, but, you know, I invited Winter to come, and da-da-da. It's like, the way she even said that, the energy she brought to it, made the women, even when Winter first came in, be standoffish and rude to her, based upon the energy Monique gave talking about winter coming. Like, if Monique actually was a friend, she should have been like, oh, you guys, winter's coming. This is a good time for all of us to have fun, have a good kiki, put the drama behind us. Let's take some shots and do whatever. Let's just have fun. But Monique brought the energy of being standoffish and rude and mean to winter. And if you even notice, when they were in the bus or the little sprint or whatever they were doing, going to the trip, Arana was the one, because Arana's actually my favorite one on the show, and Winter too. But Arana was actually the one who said to Monique, "Oh, well, since Winter's your friend, you're going to give her the heads up that Kevin's coming, right? Since you don't want to ambush people." That right there shows you how dirty Monique is. She's up here talking about, I don't want to ambush anybody. I don't want to blah, 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 blah. Just want to give you guys the heads up. Monique's coming, blah, adding all this negative, funky energy. And then Chris is like, oh, well, Kevin's coming. Just you guys know Kevin's coming too. Monique was not going to give Winter the heads up that Kevin was coming until Arana told her to on the Sprinter bus. And that's when she started texting Winter. So you are really sitting up here acting like you were just some, oh, I want to be the peacemaker. Oh, I just want to get everybody to get along. But you were setting up Winter. Because how are you warning the ladies that Winter's coming in this negative, funky attitude way, poisoning them against Winter before she even gets there? But you weren't even going to tell Winter that your husband invited her estranged husband to the party. So what? So Winter could come, then Kevin could come, and then you all could have a big laugh and a big kiki watching everything go off. That was so that was so messed up. That's what you guys are saying in the chat box. Hey, Velda. She goes, she is complaining about him too much. Yeah, this is the thing. I'm really confused because I'm like, what is it, Monique, that you were actually lacking? Like, I'm really confused. Like, she doesn't say specifically what she needs from Chris. It's just this very top of the line, weird, like, oh, emotional, open up, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, he goes to therapy with you. He does everything you ask him. He is trying. He's there. Like, I don't know what Monique wants. It's like, Monique, do you just not want Chris? Like, let's keep it all the way funky 100, Monique. Is it just that you don't want your husband anymore? You don't want him. Like, let's make that clear. Don't villainize him and don't gaslight him like something is wrong with him, because there's nothing wrong with Chris. Maybe you just don't want him anymore, and like, own that. Do you see what I'm saying? Miss T says, poor Chris, and she let it happen. I know. Chris to me really seemed like a battered spouse, emotionally and mentally battered. Hey, Miss T, Winter made this season. Winter was the entire season. And even the other women and their husbands, even Ashley and Arana and their husbands were like, we're tired of talking about Winter and Kevin. That's all we talk about. Winter, Kevin. Did you notice the only thing Monique ever talked about the entire season was either berating Chris or throwing Winter under the bus? What was anything else going on in her life other than those two things? I'll wait. Not a damn thing. The only thing she did was talk bad about Winter and talk bad about her husband. And that was it. What else was going on? Winter was the entire season. I don't think Ashley and Arana are bad. When it comes to Ashley, I think she fronts a lot. I think Ashley has this front of tough, tell like it is. I don't really care. That's just me cracking jokes, throwing shade. It's a big front. And I think inside she's actually really fragile. And she puts up this front, but she can be very dismissive and very rude. And I think that when Winter came and Winter was going through her stuff and she was just being honest about her life, I think sometimes when other people are very honest about where they're at, it can bother people who are putting up fronts. And again, this is all alleged, fun, kiki. Everything I say is just my opinion. I'm not saying it's fact. I have no receipts, just my opinion. I think everyone, all of those couples except for Chris and Monique, have an arrangement where their husbands and maybe even the wives are allowed to cheat. I don't think that it's news to Ashley that DJ Fun Size cheats on her. I don't think it's news to Arena that Red Light Special cheats on her. Don't think it's news. I think they don't want it shared on TV. I don't think they talk about it publicly, but I don't think that that's something that is surprising to them. I think that they probably have a don't ask, don't tell policy. You see what I'm saying? Ms. T says Monique couldn't even pronounce Tanzania correctly. Girl, I couldn't either. Tanzania. No, Tanzania. Hey, Miss T, all the couples were friendly but not friends. Exactly, exactly. And that's another thing that I was thinking. I was like, Arana, why are you going so hard for Ashley when this chick called you an associate or an acquaintance, whatever she called you? Arana was like, oh no, we're friends. And Ashley was like, no, we hung out a couple of times. We just getting to know each other. You're not a friend. You're an acquaintance, whatever it is. But yet you're writing so hard for her against Winter when this chick doesn't even co-sign you as a friend. Make that make sense. What else was going on? Monique was kind of flat the whole season. And when she was like, I forgot what she was saying to Winter, but it was like, Monique, no, you're actually the messiest person on the show. She was the messiest person. You don't have your friend talk to you about something, and then you go back to the women and you spin it in this way, and then wonder why they're all fussing and fighting. They had squashed it. They had all come together. Everything was copacetic until Monique came back and messed it up. And Winter had a point. Even after that, when Winter, Monique, and Ashley, when the three of them got together, they squashed it. Then Monique started up again talking about, oh, she has what do you call it? A nickname for your husband. I don't like me have nicknames for my husband. She called her husband DJ Fun Size. And this is where Ashley is a hypocrite. Because when Monique told Ashley about DJ Fun Size, she laughed. And I was like, oh, I love that response because it's funny. Clearly, Winter is not trying to come for your neck, calling your husband Fun Size. Like, get out of here. It's a joke. But then all of a sudden, once Monique got spinning, once the cameras and everything else happened, all of a sudden, Ashley's all up in arms because she called her husband Fun Size. Girl, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Miss T says Monique started a job at the radio station. Yeah, she did. She did. But you know what I didn't she did, but they're like, oh, this didn't just happen overnight for her. But I'm also like, don't act like she didn't get that job because she wasn't on Bravo. And don't act like she didn't get that job because she's not on OWN now. It's not like she got that job if she had not those opportunities. And I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking that at all. I don't want to sound like a hater or I'm knocking the hustle by any means. But it is true, you know, when you have TV shows, you're on a network, of course you got the radio job. You know, because you have that built-in audience, you have that built-in exposure, and that's great. I'm not knocking that. Like, trust me, if I could get a radio job and all that stuff, girl, I'd be on there too. So I'm definitely not knocking it. Hey, Sharon, she goes, hello, Candyman Love. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Hey, Miss T, they said the DC street be talking. I mean, the streets don't even need to talk. You just, they tell on themselves, these couples. They tell themselves. You, watching these people, you could not tell me they're faithful to each other. You couldn't. I would be like, I don't believe you. If you're like, Candy, I'm going to give you $1 million to believe that these couples are faithful to each other. I would be like, no, I'm out of $1 million because I just don't believe it. There's no way. There is no way DJ Quick is being faithful to Ashley, and there's no way Red Light Special is being faithful to Arana. But I think the gag is, I think Ashley's okay with it. I think Arana's okay with it, only if it's kept under wraps, only if it's not exposed. I don't think that this is like breaking news. I think they just want to have, I think exactly what that woman said, the Terry, the intuitive healer woman. And this is another thing. This show was boring and the show wasn't fun. I think it would have been better if it was Iyanna Fix My Life series for each of the couples in Winter. I think it would have been way more entertaining if it was a Iyanna Fix My Life with all this intuitive healer and all this blah, blah, blah stuff. It would have been so much more interesting if it was a Iyanna Fix My Life rather than Love and Marriage DC. Like, I'm sorry, it was a yawn. It was a yawn. The entire season was just misunderstanding Winter and bashing her. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, even the intuitive healer Terry was like, "You guys are fake. Like you guys are pretending." And then did you see when she asked DJ, not DJ, Red Light Special, what's his name? The other one, Silva, when they asked him, is it Silva? I don't know, Arana's husband. When they asked him, she was like, "Do you even love her? Are you in love with her?" Because I don't know. And I was like, the same. This is the thing. I think when it comes to Ashley and DJ Quick, I think they are a couple. I think they are a couple. I think they still have sex. I think they are. I think they love each other. But do I think he's faithful to her? Absolutely not. Do I think she knows he's unfaithful? Absolutely. Do I think they're trying to front? 100%. Do I think Ashley is a mean girl? Yes, I do. Would I read her self-help book? Absolutely not. When it comes to what's the face? Arana and her husband Silva. Do I think they're a couple? No. I think they're married. I think it's, and I said this before on a couple of reviews ago, and he even said it then later on in other episodes. He said that they're like brother and sister, and that's exactly what I think. I don't think that they are this. I don't think they're a couple. I think they're married. I think they've been together for 26, 30 years, whatever the case may be. They have these children. They have this lifestyle. They have the name, you know. But I think that they are like, I think, like he said, I think they're like brother and sister. I think that they live together. I think they co-parent. But do I think they're like this couple? No, no. I think their relationship has become familial, not romantic relationships. Okay. Sharon Redmond says, "Did you see Quick squirm when Winter said she had receipts?" Exactly. He would. That's why he got all upset and mad and was all having his little fun sized temper tantrum in his seat, going off and was squirming because he knows it's true. And honestly, I think that's one reason why Ashley is going so hard against Winter. I don't even think Ashley has that big of an issue with Winter. I think she's going so hard because she wants to stand by her man and she wants to make sure that nothing comes out. So the more she goes after Winter, the more she tries to discredit her and all of that stuff. But of course, Winter has receipts. Of course she does. He was squirming. He was over there calling Winter's new boyfriend the B word and all this other, this, that, and the third. Hey, Miss T, Monique and Chris were just trying to produce a good show. I'm sure they were coached on how to help the other couples be more open. Yeah, yeah. But it goes also in that gray area where it's like when you're the talent and you're sort of that producer role too, how far is too far? It's almost like, in Love and Marriage Huntsville, when you have Melody in the scenes and she's very much planting questions. It's very scripted and it doesn't seem organic or natural, and they're not really talking about anything in their lives. They're just really trying to produce a scene but also trying to be talent. So sometimes that gets weird. Who else does that? Kyle does that a lot on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's very producery as well. So sometimes the lines gets blurred and it comes across weird. Miss T says, Carlos made Monique feel like she was queen. Yes. He did make her feel like she was the queen, like it was her show. But I guess it was, you know what I mean? She had come from Bravo. He came from Bravo. So, Hey, Miss T, Winter gives scammer vibes. Okay. This is remember, I had the conspiracy theory, and this was before I finished the entire season, but I always had the conspiracy theory that Kevin and Winter got married. They did a quickie marriage, sort of like Tiffany and Louis from Love and Marriage Huntsville. They did a quickie marriage in order to look like a desirable couple to be on the show. So they did the quickie marriage, and then Winter quickly found out that she got scammed by the scammer. Like, I think she wanted to do, like, we'll just scam Own and we'll just pretend, like, it's cool, whatever. But then she was like, oh, wait, you're like an actual, like, real scammer. I think in her mind, she was like, let's tell this little white lie. And then she was like, oh, wait a minute, but you're like a legit scammer. So I think Winter got scammed by the scammer. And then I wish Winter hadn't, and this is where I get more scammer vibes, but not scammer so much, but I feel bad because I wish Winter hadn't backtracked with the whole not being a relationship coach anymore. And now she's saying she's like a minister and she's doing something else. She was saying like, oh no, I've transitioned out of relationship coaching and now I'm a minister and I'm doing something else. I wish she had doubled down and stuck true to being a relationship coach in the face of having a failed marriage, in the face of being bullied and mean girled by Ashley, because Ashley was, call us face, but Ashley was rude as hell. She was rude as hell to her. There was no need to do that. Like, come on now. At the vegan dinner, she was rude as hell to her. And I think that Winter got very insecure about that, and she probably got very now she's trying to save face in that criticism. But I wish she would have doubled down. I wish she would have been like, yeah, I'm a relationship coach. Who I got scammed. I'm the person now to tell you how if it could happen to me, it could happen to you. So let me tell you the warning signs, because it's true. Anybody can be scammed. Anybody can get the okey doked. Anybody can have something, go over with them. So just because she's a relationship coach doesn't make her immune to love scams by people. And it's disheartening that the women didn't rally around her, but instead they sort of put her down. So yeah, that was it. Miss T says DJ brought up unnecessary issues. He got mad quickly. Yeah, he got mad because he doesn't want his stuff coming out. He doesn't want his stuff coming out. And so it's like, let's get mad. Let's shake the table. Let's be all big and bad so we can distract to make sure nothing actually comes out. But I mean, who doesn't think he's not out there pop jocking and locking it and busting it open while he's allegedly DJing across the world? I mean, I'm sure he's DJing, but I'm also sure he's doing some other stuff, because you don't get that mad. Where there's smoke, there's fire, like thou does protest too much. Hey, Miss T, so glad season was short. Me too. Hey, the real lovely C. She says, hi, Candy. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Miss T says, husband with the horrible jacket. That denim jacket was trash. It was trash. Straight trash. Okay, let's see. Miss T says, I heard red light special as a police officer, and that is why he didn't show his true self. He's a police officer, and his son. I'm not gonna get into the son because I don't want to talk about children. I don't want to talk about kids. Sharon Redmond says, I think Jamie has potency issues. Oh, Jamie. Yes, Jamie is Arana's husband. Who knows what his issues are? Hey, Miss T, Jamie was still wrong for putting his hands on his wife. Okay. So this might be an unpopular opinion. And Miss T says, Jamie said he made her and she agreed. Oh, okay. Let's get into this. Okay. I'm going to first talk about him putting his hand on her face when she was talking. And then I'm going to talk about him saying he made her. Okay. Him putting his hands on her face when she was talking, I thought was extremely inappropriate. Like, you don't put your hands on anybody's face. If you think she was getting out of pocket, like, let's be serious, she was almost throwing herself across the table, but she's her own person. If you feel your spouse or anyone really getting like that, you don't put your hands in their face. He could have, if he had to touch her, he could have put his hand on her shoulder and been like, babe, like, okay, like, let's go talk. Let's do something. He could like rubbed her back, something that's soothing, not aggressive to the face. And then when it comes to him saying he made her and she agreed, I mean, that's basically what Terry the intuitive was saying the whole time. How they both have their own set of very perfectionist rules, trauma that they have not dealt with. And you could see that in her, and you can see that in him, and by him saying I made you and she agreed, that is so sad to me. That is so sad to me, and it shows you right there how both of their self-esteem is so low. Because if you're a man and you have true self-esteem, you would never fix your mouth to say you made your wife. And if you were a woman who really had self-esteem, there is no way in hell you will agree that anybody other than you and God made you. Ever. So it's a testament to both of them. To both of how messed up they both are. It's insane. Velda says Ashley is just rude. Ashley is rude as hell. Ashley is very rude. Ashley is nasty. And I think that she's she's also super sensitive. You know, some people who are super, super sensitive, but then they're the first ones to kind of cut you really deep. Ashley's rude as hell, and she's very nasty, and she needs to chill out because I like Winter. This teases Ash just wanted a moment. Thanks, Winter. Exactly. Hey, Sharon. She goes, all I saw Winter do was respond to stuff. How do they make her the villain? Exactly. I am team Winter. I want justice for Winter. And I feel bad. And I wish Winter had stayed true to herself and was like, no, I'm a relationship coach. Yes, I got played. Yes, I got scammed. Yes, I've been through some stuff. But let me tell you how to get out of it, you know? Instead of saying now she's a minister and all this other stuff, because now she's looking foolish the way they're trying to make her look. It's like when somebody pokes you and pokes you and pokes you and pokes you, and then you finally pop off and they're like, see, told you you were angry, told you you were this, told you you were crazy. It's like, no, you poke a bear enough, you're gonna get bit, you know? It's like they poked her so much, now she's doing all this weird stuff. And I wish she would have doubled down and was just like, no, I am who I am, and you're not going to take me out of my character, or you're not going to take me out of what I'm doing. Because honestly, I don't really think Winter did anything wrong this season. I think Monique was the messiest person on the show. She took a bone and she carried it, sauteed it, put some barbecue sauce on it, whipped it up, and then threw it back. She was the messiest person on this show. Chris needs some really good therapy to work on his own self-esteem, because you can tell he feels so bad and low about himself. He tolerates that behavior. Hey, Miss T, Winter scared them with the hair. They stopped listening to her. I mean, that just means she was going through it. But wasn't that hair popular at some point? Wasn't everybody rocking that? I mean, not me, but some people. Hey, Miss T, you can still talk about the son. He is grown AF. He is grown. I wonder what happened with his case. We're talking about Jamie Jr. He is grown. So, yes. I wonder what happened with his case. And I want to know what happened that really put such the strain on him and his father's relationship, you know? Wonder what happened there. Hey, Sharon, like Martell made Melody. Ooh. Did Martell say that? That sounds like something he would say. That is just so disgusting. You don't say that. It's like, no, we're partners. We're in this together. Miss T says, what do you think about Ashley's re-proposal? Wait, what's her re-proposal? What's Ashley's re-proposal? This season is just Cassie in the 90s with the shave. Cassie, and I want to say maybe like Rosario Dawson did this side too. I don't even know. Wait, what's Ashley's re-proposal? What's that? And can we talk about Kevin, who was Ashley's ex or almost ex, whatever? Did it even make, when you saw him, were you as flabbergasted as I was, that I was like, this is Ashley's ex, or this is Ashley's husband? Like, I'm so confused by this. I am so confused by this. Like he looked, and I don't want to laugh, and I want to be respectful, okay? So when I say this, I'm saying it from a place of concern. But didn't Kevin look sickly? Like, did anybody else catch that? And I'm not trying to be rude and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but he seemed sick to me. I mean, like physically sick, like something was wrong with him, like a cancer or a disease. And again, I don't want to speak that on anyone. I don't want to put that on anybody. So I'm wishing him nothing but happiness and health. It's just an observation that he didn't look well, you know. Um, yeah, he didn't look well. He didn't look well to me, like physically. Clearly, he is a scammer, and that's another thing. What man is gonna fix his mouth and say he's in love with a woman and wants her back, but yet you bring a whole briefcase of Kinko copies of an ebook you get for free in exchange for an email address, trying to say these are receipts against your alleged love of your life wife you're trying to get back. Where they do that at, Kevin? That is nothing but scammer, manipulation, gaslighting vibes. If a man or a woman or whoever really loves someone, really wants to reconcile, the last thing they're going to do is try to publicly embarrass them, publicly shame them, bring a brief. What did he think was going to happen? He was going to bring a briefcase of the Kinko copies, and Winter was going to be like, "Oh my God, you're right. I forgot about this ebook that was transcribed. I love you. Let's stay married." Like, what? I'm confused. And nothing in his so-called receipts paperwork denied the fact that, again, alleged, he was caught embezzling money from his company. And so he got in trouble. And so he went and stayed with his mommy. Come on, Kev. Oh, okay. So the reproposal quick did the whole thing with Tank. Okay. Wait, hold on before I Sharon says, I'll say it for you. Kevin looks sick and ugly. Yeah, he did look sick, right? He looked sick. He looked like something wasn't. He looked sick. Yeah. Yeah. And Kevin, you're a scammer. You're a scammer. You're a scammer. Just call a thing a thing. You're a scammer. I think that the only scam I see Winter doing, and again, this is alleged conjecture, is the quickie marriage to be on the show. I don't think Winter is an actual day-to-day scammer, if that makes sense. I think she was like an opportunist. She was like, "Oh my God, I have this opportunity. Yeah, let's do this quickie marriage so we can be on the show." Whereas I think Kevin is like an actual like, "Oh, you really scam and like you're an actual criminal." Okay, so what I think about, okay, thou does protest too much. Quick, DJ Fun Size. He's doing the absolute most in order to cover up his cheating and infidelity. Again, all alleged, just the funky key. I don't have receipts. Nobody from the cast come for me. Okay. I think he's doing the most. The whole reproposal, the whole ring, the whole thing with Tank, the whole having a temper tantrum at the reunion, the whole going after Winter so hard. Like, it's just, thou does protest too much. Like, if you're not actually cheating, why are you so bothered? Why are you so mad? What are you so scared of? And the whole reproposal thing to me, actually, I think it did the opposite of what he was saying he was doing. To like, oh, all of a sudden Ashley now was supposed to be like her moment, and the whole time, it was like, oh, DJ Fun Size was supposed to be, he was the celebrity star and she was just the wife, and now he's the wife of. But like, you stole her moment. Her whole book launch reveal was supposed to be about her, but the only thing I remember about the book launch is DJ Quick's reproposal and doing the thing in the Tank song. So it's like he almost eclipsed her. He made the signing about, or the book reveal about him. You know what I mean? Like, I think he could have done that at a different time. It's if it's about her book, if it's about her stepping into her own, let her shine, let her have the moment. But now I don't even remember anything about the book. The only thing I remember is Tank singing some song and DJ Fun Size giving her some new ring. So he kind of eclipsed her. And honestly, thou dost protest too much. I don't think, I don't know. I don't think the cheating rumors are new. I don't think they're a surprise. I think that they're true. And just chill out. Be authentic. I think Winter's being honest and Winter being herself and Winter being just bothered them in the beginning because they were fronting. I don't think we ever saw the true Ashley. I don't think we ever saw the true DJ Quick. I don't think we ever saw the true Irana. I don't think we ever saw the true Jamie. I think we saw their representatives for the entire season, other than when they got upset. I don't think we really saw them. I agree with Terry, the intuitive coach. Fake. Fake. She said it. She's like, you guys look fake. 100%. Miss T's is sweaty and still scammy. I know. I was like, can we get Kevin like something? Like, what's going on, Kev? Gotta stay hydrated. It's hot, y'all. Velda says Kevin seems slow, touched too. Oh no. I think he's just sick. I think something's wrong with him. And I don't want to speak that. So health and happiness and wholeness to everybody. Okay. Velda says DJ Fun Size running scared of receipts. He was running scared. He looked like he was like dancing. He had ants in the pants. He was running scared. Like now I want a Mariah moment, and I have the receipts. Like I want to see the receipts. Like I want to see the receipts. Like I do. I want to be petty. I want to be messy. I want the receipts. I want them. Hey Sharon, she goes, I most remembered the fake bathroom sex. Girl. Does anybody believe that Jamie and Irana even still have sex? And by that I mean with each other? Because I don't think they have sex with each other anymore. And if they do, it's probably only on birthdays and anniversaries. But Jamie said it. He's like, we're like brothers and sisters. And that's what it is. And nobody believed that fake bathroom sex. She came out, her dress was just as laid. Her hair was just as laid. Her makeup was just as laid. And also production would have been shady and they would have shared some type of like sound or something that they caught from the microphones. Like, stop. And that was also just like gross and inappropriate. Like, who wants to know, like, if you're at a party and your two friends are like, we're gonna go have sex in the bathroom. That's like nasty. Like, ew. Don't tell me. I don't want to know that. This tease is very fake sex time. Very fake. I don't even think they really kiss each other. I don't. They fight like brother and sister. And they interact like brother and sister. I think they're co-parents. I don't think they're a couple. Miss T says Kevin's skin did look bad. Yeah. His skin looked bad and he also looked like gaunt. But not in like that sexy way. He looked gaunt in that sickly way. He looked sickly. Yeah. Hey, Miss T, Quick and Jamie both got very upset when receipts were brought up in past events. Yeah, because they don't want to be exposed. They don't want to be exposed, but I want them to be exposed. I do. And you know how everybody was getting at Winter about talking about Kevin and her being scammed, and that's all she talked about? Well, what did they all talk about? Like, let's go down the list and talk what they talked about. DJ Quick. It's in your name. You're a DJ. That's the only thing you talked about was being a DJ and getting carpal tunnel and gout in your hand. But that's the only thing he talked about. Well, no, he did talk about his childhood and growing up, which is again why I said I did not need Love and Marriage DC. What I needed was Iyanna Fix My Life season, fixing the lives of these couples and Winter. That would have been way more interesting, because the most interesting things they talked about was their childhood trauma. But I didn't feel like it was very surface. We were taught that men don't cry, and we need to teach people that men cry. And it's like, yeah, that's good. But I wanted like Iana to fix their lives and to like really dive deep. And I wanted like ugly crying and snotty noses. And I wanted a real transformation. And I just felt this season was lackluster, and I thought it was boring. And I didn't like Monique's personality at all. I mean, at all. And I didn't think any of them had any fun. And the sad part is, I actually think it could have been way better. And I think the season would have went very, very differently if, when Monique got back from Africa, she didn't stir the pot. I think if she would have just went to lunch with Winter and would have been a good girlfriend, they had a nice little kiki lunch, and if she would have left it there, I think this season would have went very differently. I think it would have been a lot more fun. I think the girls would have gotten along. I think there would have been more kikis. I think it would have been a lot lighter. I think it would have been a lot funnier, and it would have been way more entertaining. But the entire season was just bogged down with going after Winter for literally nothing. And then Monique being mean to Chris being slumped over in a corner, Ashley being mean as hell, DJ Quick talking about DJing all day long, Arana talking about, plastic surgery and trying to get this perfect body, and Jamie just basically being checked out. That was it. What else happened? What else happened? That was it. Ms. T says they did not have the budget for Fix My Life. They didn't have the Ayana money. They did not have the Ayana money. But it sucks, because I do think that the show was a missed opportunity. I think the show would have went very differently if Monique did not do what she did when she got back from Africa. And I think it would have been a much, much better show and a much more entertaining show than what we got. At least that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. What else happened on the show? And who thinks Ashley got a ghostwriter for her book? And I'm also kind of like, Ashley, I need to stop. I need to stop. Hey, no, ma'am. She goes, I felt gaslit by the reunion. Exactly. They tried to convince us we saw something we didn't see. Thank you. Thank you, 100%. I was so confused. I was like, the reunion is not tracking with the actual season itself. And even in the last episode, even Arana was like, hey, Arana and Ashley had their come to Jesus moment with Winter, and they were like, you know what? Like, I'm sorry. I forgive you. I actually think if the Monique stuff didn't happen, we probably could have been friends and whatever. And it was more enjoyable and fun when all of the girls were in the room, like laughing and singing and having fun, and it was all four of them having a good time and a good kiki. Those were the most interesting and fun moments of the entire season. And I think if the season had been able to continue in that way without Monique meddling, it would have been a much stronger show. But I think now they realize how boring the show was and how messed up they were. They're trying to continue just to blame Winter as a scapegoat. And Monique going after Winter at the reunion, to me, I'm like, no, Monique, you're trying to clean up the mess you made because you knew you were dead wrong carrying that bone back. Winter and Monique were just having a kiki lunch, and she took it back as if Winter was talking about them like dogs and all this other stuff. No, Winter was just like, girl, listen, this is what happened. No, I don't want DJ Fun Size. Like, it was a kiki lunch. Like, it wasn't that deep. She wasn't trying to like go for them. It's insane. It's insane. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, Miss T, she goes, what is Ashley's book about? Okay, Ashley's book, it's called Do That Shit or Do That Stuff or whatever. I guess I can cuss on here. Yeah, it's my channel. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so her book is like Do That Stuff. And it's about like her past experiences. And I think she went through depression and everything. And she's basically giving like a no holds barred advice, no holds barred, self help on if I can get through it, you can get through it too, and all this stuff. But I'm kind of like, I wouldn't take advice from Ashley personally. Not on anything, really. Miss T, Carlos not ask good fellow questions. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And you know what was sad? It was almost, I felt almost like Carlos to me actually reminded me of Andy Cohen during the reunion when he thought the audience was against Monique, but we actually were for Monique more so than not, and it didn't translate between what the audience saw versus what questions he was asking. It kind of gave me that vibes. It kind of gave me the vibes where Carlos was kind of sucking up to Monique and then kind of throwing Winter onto the bus, where there was that gaslit disconnect where we were like, that's not what we saw. Like, Winter's not the villain in this story. you know? Sharon Redmond says, I actually love the show, probably because I know one of the couples. Ah, yeah. See, the thing is, I don't dislike the show. I don't hate the show. But I think that the show could have been better. I think it could have been more entertaining. I think it could have been more engaging. I think it could have been a bigger key if the whole thing with Monique throwing Winter under the bus when she got back from Africa didn't happen. I would have loved to see all of the girls together having the key moments. I would have loved to see, Winter and Ashley's dynamic, Winter and Arana's dynamic, because I think that they could have actually been friends underneath that. And I think it got sabotaged, unfortunately, with Monique trying to be relevant when in those conversations. It's like, no, like everybody's grown. They had it all figured out. You didn't need to come in and mess it up. No, ma'am, says Ashley gives herself too much credit. She pretends not to seek validation, but she's craving it 1,000%. 1,000%. She is a mean girl, I think. And I do think she's kind of bullying because, like a lot of mean girls, a lot of bullies, they're not satisfied with themselves. I think Ashley is probably very lonely. I think she's home a lot with the kids, while DJ Fun Size is out there fun sizing it up. And I think she lashes out because she's still not happy. And there's a difference between being depressed and not happy. So I know she had her own struggle with depression, and I'm really proud of her for being honest about that, and it'll help a lot of people. So I'm not saying she's depressed. I'm saying she's not happy. You could not be happy without being depressed. And I think that she's not a happy person. And she's very mean and she's rude as hell. And she covers it up with being funny or straight. And I can't stand it when people are like, I'm just honest. It's like, no, you're not honest. You're actually just mean. There's a difference between honesty and being nasty. You know what I mean? It's like that saying, honesty without compassion is cruelty. And she's not nice. I don't think she's cool. Miss T, when the girls had Winter's back about the scammer, that was a good moment. Exactly, Miss T. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When they were all in the room and they were laughing and singing and having fun and all of them came together, that to me was actually the most beautiful, entertaining, fun part of the show. And I wish we would have gotten to see that more. But I really think Monique sabotaged it. And then once she realized, hey, Sharon. She goes, hey, Candy in chat. I'm way late. No, you're right on time, sweetheart. You're right on time. And so I think when Monique realized that, she was like, well, I got to double down. Because instead of saying like, because her apology was like a non-apology. Miss T says, Monique is a terrible bone collector. Horrible. You better call Sheree, girl. You better call Sheree. Because the problem is Monique's apology still threw Winter under the bus. She took no accountability. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I said this stuff, but that wasn't how it was given to me, and that wasn't how it was blah, blah, blah. But no, you had Monique, it was your fault. Point blank period, Monique, it was your fault. And if you really did have such a problem with what Winter said to you over the lunch, and you're at an event and you know winter is coming, why didn't you wait until winter got there? See, that was a big problem for me. And this is another reason why I thought Monique was messy as hell. She went to the event. I think it was another Ashley event. She was doing the most something. And at the mall or whatever, wherever it was at. And then Monique comes, and it's Ashley and Arena, and Monique is relaying what Winter allegedly said, which she completely blew out of proportion. Her whole attitude, her whole tone, her whole delivery was completely messed up and jacked up without Winter being there. And she knew Winter was coming. So it's like, why are you relaying what Winter said, hearsay third party, in this really negative, nasty way, not in Winter's presence? And then when Winter it's like you lit the fire, and then when Winter got there, it went boom, and you want to sit there like Boo Boo the Fool, wondering, I don't know why the ladies don't get along. I don't know what's happening. I thought we could all blah, blah, blah. It's like, girl, you did this. If you really thought what Winter said was so jacked up, and if you are everyone's friend like you're alleging to be, why didn't you just wait for Winter to be there and be like, hey girl, remember we were talking over lunch, you said this, like, since we're all here now, let's just, chop it up. Let Winter speak for herself, because that's what the problem was. It was the way Monique relayed the conversation. I don't even think it was the way Winter told her it. I think it was the way Monique relayed it. And that was the problem. Hey, Miss T, Ashley's going to give advice about being cheated on or being a cheater. Girl. I know. I'm personally not going to buy that book. No Man says, Winter was my favorite. Same. Monique needs to stay off TV for a bit. They're mean girls that fake women's empowerment. Yeah. I agree with you. Winter 1000% was my favorite. I want justice for Winter. I'm really mad she's not claiming to be, I don't want to take that away from her, but now she's like, no, I'm a minister now, not a life coach or a relationship coach. I'm like, no, girl, stick to what you are. If you're a life or relationship coach, double down on that. I think she got embarrassed with how they treated her and everything they said and, and what happened, but whatever. Sharon Redmond says, Carlos always tries to clown the women. No, ma'am, says Carlos was acting like another cast member. Carlos was acting like a Monique fan. I said it. Sharon F says, Monique didn't do anything on the show but complain about Chris. The only thing Monique did was complain about Chris and throw Winter under the bus. That was it. She's not a likable person. And it's so weird because I really liked her on Potomac. But her personality on DC was completely unlikable. So, I mean, I don't know if it was just the dynamic. I don't know if it was a representative of herself. But who she showed herself to be on DC was very different. Because I remember being so excited that I was like, okay, like, she got done dirty on Potomac. I'm so happy that she has her own show. Like, I was super excited. I thought she was super cool. But what happened on DC, I was like, who is this person? Like, it's crazy. Misty says Carlos turning into Andy. Yeah, I was shocked by how he handled the reunion part 1. So we'll see. Hey Sharon, she goes, don't y'all hate it when people cover meanness with keeping it real? I can't stand it when people are like, I'm just honest. It's like, no, you're just an asshole. And you're rude and you're nasty and you're mean. And that's it. You're not keeping it real. You're not honest. You're not any of those things. Just because you say something that is hurtful and you do it in a direct way doesn't mean you're keeping it real. It doesn't mean you're honest. It just means you're a nasty person. It's not nice. Hey, Miss T says, apologize can never happen with the butt. Exactly. Exactly. Every time Monique apologized, she'd be like, but winter, but winter. And then during the reunion, all she did was double down and try and throw Winter under the bus for what she did. It's hard to respect people like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I am by no means perfect. I mess up all the time. Because guess what? I'm a human being, and human beings mess up. But I think it's such a testament to someone's integrity when they can say, you know what, I really messed up. Even if you want to be honest, be all the way 100 with it. You know, I was being messy as hell, and I'm sorry. Period. Don't say, oh, I did this, but because, oh, I did this, but she said, mm-mm. Own your stuff. Miss T says, Monique thought she could run production, maybe a better edit. Yeah, but it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. And I felt really bad for Chris because you could tell he was so. And you know what? This happens a lot in relationships where that one person just doesn't want to say, I'm no longer into you. And so they make the other person feel like something's wrong with them. Like, I don't think Chris really did anything wrong. But Monique seems to never, I don't know, like what does she actually want? I'm just confused as to what it is she actually wants from Chris. Like, I'm confused like him. Like, I also like don't get what the problem is. Maybe the problem is she just doesn't want to be with him. So it's like, just say that. Say either you never were in love or you've fallen out of love and you want to find somebody else that's a better fit for you. That is, it might sound harsh in the moment, but it is so much more compassionate than driving somebody crazy, acting like something is wrong with them that they can never figure out why they are not enough. And that's what I feel like she's doing to Chris. And it's really hard to watch. No Ma'am says, this athlete was keeping it real. She would have said she didn't like Winter from day one. Bloop. Exactly. Miss T, why not show flashbacks at reunion? Bloop. Exactly. Sharon F says, Carlos just messy. I mean, I was shocked. Are you guys watching his late night show? I haven't caught it yet. Is it like Watch What Happens Live? I feel like I'm gonna say this, but no, I'm not gonna say it. No, I'll say it. I don't mean it in a derogatory way, because I don't like when people compare. Oh, this is that person, but it does kind of feel like Carlos is like the black Andy. But I hate when people do that. You know, when we're like, oh, you're the black this person, you're the white that person. So I don't mean it in the derogatory way. No Ma'am says he was messy asking why she called him gutter Barbies. Exactly. Thank you, No Ma'am. He was setting up the whole situation. That's why I said Carlos was acting like a Monique fan. Why would you set Winter up like that? Ashley was embarrassed because she thought she was winning the confessional shade game. Exactly. It's like, why are they so trying to make Winter the villain when the villain was clearly Monique and Ashley? I actually really like Arena. My favorite, most interesting is Winter. I think she's really cool. I think she's a good Kiki. Justice for Winter. After that, I really like Arena. I think she needs to work on some stuff. Like, if my husband told me he made me, he would probably no longer be my husband. But that's no longer here or there. But other than that, I don't know. Miss T says, Ashley is Tiffany of this cast. Yeah. 100%. No Ma'am says, my only issue is Winter not being her witty and shady self in scenes. When confronted, she should have read the girls a little more. Yeah, I agree. She probably was intimidated and scared. You know what I mean? She also probably wanted to be liked because she probably felt like she was like the odd one out, you know? This T says, Chris looks so frustrated. He did look frustrated. And did you also notice how their body language changed when Carlos Ashley asked when what's her name? Monique was like, oh, people are saying that you only did the show to embarrass Chris to set up yourself for your divorce. And did you notice how their whole energy and body language changed after that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ma'am says she expects Chris to make her happy. She's having an identity crisis and blaming him. Well, 100%. She's like, and this is another thing with Monique. Remember when she was crying in the confessional and she was like, I feel like I always have to prove my value. I always have to prove my worth. And he was trying to comfort her and he was like, no, like you don't have to. And she was like, snapped at him. She was, it's not what you say, it's how I feel. And I was just like, girl, like I wanted to like reach into the into the TV and like shake her and be like, what are you doing and what do you want? Like you keep berating this man, saying he's not there for you emotionally, saying he's not opening up for you. When you're sitting there crying and bearing your soul and he is trying to comfort you, and even in that moment you find fault with him, I can't I'm sorry. We need an intervention with Chris. Iana, I know you're no longer doing your show. If you ever watch my YouTube video, I'm talking to you, sweetheart. I love you, Iana. I don't mean sweetheart. I mean, ma'am, amazing person. I don't want to be dismissive by any means. I need you to intervene with Chris Samuels. We need to do a deep dive. We need to go into his childhood trauma. We need to go into his self-concept. We need to go into his self-esteem. We need to get him feeling like we need to get him in his masculine energy. We need to get him into self-love, some self-care, because by all accounts, to me, Chris is a phenomenal man. And it really boggles my mind how he is treated. And Monique, I doubt you'll ever watch this, but if you do, I completely 100% disagree with what you said on the reunion. You got up on that reunion talking about when Black women say what they want and what they need, then we're called disrespectful, then we're called this, then we're called that, blah, 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 blah. We only get comfort or whatever the heck she said when we're crying or something. Wrong, not true. Please do not use the plight of Black women to justify your abusive behavior towards your husband. Please do not. People call you disrespectful, Monique, because you are disrespectful. People feel bad for Chris because you criticize him, you belittle him, you berate him, and you dismiss him consistently and constantly in private and in public, on camera and off camera, when you're alone and when you're together and when you're in public around other people. That is why people call you disrespectful, not because you're a Black woman, but because you're a disrespectful person. Don't try to conflate your behavior with the plight of Black women. And the whole thing, oh, Black women only get seen or whatever when we're crying and broke down. That's not even true. The whole thing about being a strong Black woman is that we're actually never even allowed to be soft. We're expected to be angry and strong and rah, 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 and all that stuff. It's the exact opposite of what you said. That's the whole thing of being like strong Black woman archetype is actually so unhealthy. We should be allowed to be human beings and to cry and to be vulnerable and to be coddled and to be all of the things that you were and that your husband was trying to do where you dismissed him. So when you were crying and vulnerable, he was there for you and you did like this and told him to get off of you and you yelled at him. So Monique, what are you talking about? No, you're just mean, point blank period, to your husband. That's it. It has nothing to do with Black women. It has nothing to do with being strong Black woman archetype. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It's you. It's you. There is a way to communicate with your spouse, with your wife, with your husband, with your person, with your partner, that is not demeaning and degrading and dismissive and disrespectful. There is a way to communicate your needs in a way that is respectful and honors your relationship and honors the person. But you don't speak to him that way. And the fact, and what broke my heart was the scene when, remember, they were doing some weird, like, fake sexy gym stuff, and he was so, you could tell he was so embarrassed and so sad when they had the conversation about him, people coming to him and being like, yo, what's up, Monique is constantly complaining about you. And remember, she even said it, she was like, oh yeah, I was out and I was complaining about you again, and she like laughed and said that. If we flipped the gender roles, if Chris was speaking to Monique the way Monique was speaking to Chris, we would be up in arms. You know what I mean? It would be, oh my God, Chris is so verbally abusive. He's gaslighting her. He's disrespecting her, blah, 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 blah. It works both ways, Monique. I don't know how you think it's funny to say to your husband, oh yeah, I was complaining about you again, or as always, whatever she said. And you think that's cute. It's not cute. It's not cute. Sorry, I'm going to get off my soapbox right now. I see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Miss T says, I heard the show is like Watch What Happens Live, except Carlos' mic is always turned up really high. I gotta catch it. No Ma'am says, I like her on it too. She doesn't need the backbone. Exactly. Exactly. I agree 100%. No Man says, your feelings are your problems and your business. Monique is a narcissist, in my opinion. Listen, I didn't think so at Potomac, but after this season, girl, hard to watch. Miss T, I wonder what Chris's mother would say. Okay, this is a really, really good question. I think, and rock with me on this for a little bit. Remember back in Potomac days, right? When Chris's mom and Monique really would beef with each other. I remember when Chris's mom called Monique a heifer at the thing and was talking about like she just wants his money and all of this stuff and all that stuff. But then they made up after Monique unfortunately lost her baby and everything. And or Monique and Chris did. They both lost the baby, you know? And they made up after that. I think Chris's mother is probably exactly like Monique. I think with Chris's personality, I think he married his mother. And I think that's why Chris's mom and Monique butt heads, because they both want to be the alpha woman in Chris's life. I think they both want to run the show, call the shots. I think he married his mom. I bet you Chris's mom and Monique probably have a lot of similar characteristics. I bet he married his mom. That's what it seems like. To me. That's what it seems like. Sharon says Monique wants to be a reality star to make the Potomac girls mad. Yeah, she wanted to get back at them. But I don't know it's so bizarre to me how different my opinion of her is. Like on Potomac, I actually really liked her. But then on DC, I was like, who is this person? It was like watching two different people. No Ma'am says, realistically, she doesn't create a safe space for him to be vulnerable. She does not. She does not. She goes, I don't blame him. No matter what he says or does, she uses it to victimize herself. 100%. 100%. She's not a safe space. She's not. Sharon says, nah, I disagree. Monique was right to ask for what she needs, but her delivery was jacked. No, we're saying the same thing. No, I agree with you on that. I'm saying you're allowed to ask for what you need, but the way she asks for what she needs is disrespectful. And what I don't agree with is don't say, I don't equate you being disrespectful. The only reason why people are saying you're disrespectful is because you're a Black woman and you're talking about what you need. No, those are two different things. Of course, in every relationship, whether it's romantic or not, you should always ask for what you need. That's just a part of being a healthy human being. But also being a part of a healthy human being is how you ask. And she asked in a disrespectful way. And it has nothing to do with her being a Black woman. You could be white, Asian, pink, purple, gray. If your delivery is disrespectful, it's disrespectful. No, ma'am, says that part. She's Monique 2.0. She tries to use Black femininity as a weapon and shield for her BS. Exactly. 100%. Miss T, we would never allow Chris to talk to Monique in that way, ever. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? And that man has had her back to hell and back. And this is how she treats him. Chris looks so defeated when Monique said all that stuff. Yep. Listen, Chris. You need someone to talk to. No, I'm kidding. He's a married man. I'm not even playing. That was just a joke, guys. That was just a joke. He's a married man. Trust me. Keep your legs closed. Married men. No. Miss T says Chris is everybody's meal ticket. A lot of people use him up. Oh, you know what, Miss T? Thank you for saying that. Did you guys catch on the reunion? Was it the reunion or was it the last episode? I did not know this. Tell me if you caught this. Chris said when he met Monique, he was like, oh, I know there's something about her. It was at the time when she was trying to be a rapper. She was trying to be like a singer. Remember that? And he said, and I was going to start a record label. And I was like, boom goes the dynamite. There it is. She was trying to be singer, and he was starting a record label. You talk about Chris as everybody's meal ticket? Okay. You just so happen that you want to be a singer, and it just so happens you're with a man who's starting a record label? Girl. No, man says, look up the narcissist parent-child dynamic and pay attention to how she parents her own children. Oof. Miss T, Monique always gaslights him. She gaslights him a lot. She diminishes him. She and you know what? Even the Terry, the intuitive coach, caught on. Remember when she said to Chris, "Don't live through Monique"? He's like, you live through her, and then when she's not happy, you're confused and wonder why. That actually is a huge dynamic between narcissists and empaths. Usually there's a narcissist, there's a narcissistic personality person, and the empathic person will get their identity and they will get their sense of self and worthiness, their sense of purpose through the other person. It's called enmeshment. So basically what she's saying is don't be enmeshed with Monique. Go and individuate, become your own person, and find that. Miss T says, Monique and Chris can't afford to hire help if the children are too much for him. That's what I would have done. Please, me too. I would hire help in a heartbeat. Unless you're like Anila and your nanny is just like, and I'm never coming back. I was dying. I was done. Her nanny was like, I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. I was like, what is going on in that house? Miss T says, but you're a relationship coach. Oh my God. Miss T says, I missed that, Chris. I missed that. So Chris is really biggie. Yep. But yeah, if you go back, I don't know if it was the reunion or if it was the last episode. It might have been the last episode. I'm not 100% sure. It was either the last episode or the reunion. But Chris said how he was starting a record label and she was trying to be an up-and-coming singer and all that stuff. or maybe it was one of the episodes when they were talking about her being getting the radio show. Anyway, he said that. Miss T, did you watch Heavenly Intervention? No, I'm watching that tonight, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. We are doing that tomorrow. I can't wait for it. Hey, no, ma'am. She goes, she doesn't want him to hire help. That's the point. So she has to control him. Woo, she can have a nanny, but he needs to step it up as a father. Miss T, when they say they're dressed up as Little Kim and Biggie. Yeah. So he really was Biggie. Biggie, give me one more chance. Biggie, give me one more chance. Insane. What else do you guys think about them? What else is going on? We've been on here for over an hour and 15 minutes. So if you're enjoying this, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share with a friend, and also become a member to the channel. Why not? Get some member benefits. It's fun. It's fun. We have a good kiki over here. What else is going on? I think that's it, you guys. I think we covered everything. There will be a part 2 to the reunions. We will definitely be covering that as well. But like I said, justice for Winter. Justice for Winter. And if they do have a season 2, I wonder what that would look like. Do you think they're going to fire Winter? She was the whole show. Like, what are they going to do without her? I don't know. All right, you guys, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because tomorrow we will be talking about Married to Medicine, the Heavenly Intervention, and you're not going to want to miss our Kiki. You're not going to want to miss it. Miss T says, why is there a part 2? They're not done messing with Winter. They're not done. But you're right. There's no need for a part 2. We got it, guys. No, ma'am says, I don't think I'm going to watch part 2. Miss T says, Monique will not last past season 2. Unless she has, like, a huge come to Jesus moment. Unless something really drastic changes and something really drastic happens differently. Then I agree, but it's hard to watch. Oh, and you know what else, you guys? No, ma'am says, I didn't finish part 1. Miss T says, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Yeah, me too. I'm going to watch Married to Medicine tonight, and then we can do that tomorrow. And then there's another show I was going to catch up on for you guys. I forgot the name of it. It's on my list. There's another show I wanted to catch up and watch for you guys. Oh, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I had stopped watching it because it got really dark, but I think I'm going to catch up on it just so we can all have a good key on it. So I'll do that. I'll catch up on Love and Marriage Huntsville for you guys. We'll do Married to Medicine tomorrow. And then Thursday, Friday time, we'll do Dubai and Beverly Hills. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Sharon. Yes, have a good night, everybody. I love my candy canes. No, ma'am says she believes she can fix how we view her. No, ma'am, Pam. You can't fix this, Momo. We see each other. Justice for Chris and justice for Winter. You know? Because he says, yeah, hurry up and catch up because they're on a break right now. Okay, yeah, I'm going to catch up on them. I'll catch up on them and we can do them this week. Sharon says, Ashley will finally tear into Mo next season. Yeah, because you know what? I know I said I was going, but now I got an idea. You know what? I agree because I think Ashley and Arana were both kind of catching on to Monique's BS. I think the only reason why now they're still on the Winter train is because of the cheating rumors / receipts thing. But I think that they have caught on to what Monique was doing 100%. Oh, thank you, No Ma'am. She says I subbed to the channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yay. Good night, y'all. Good night, sweetheart. Yes, thank you, Miss T. Community is always better with a Kiki. Exactly. Yes. Thank you, guys. All right, let's get out of here. I love you. We've had such a great time. And as always, subscribe, like the channel, share with a friend, because a Kiki is always better with the community. Click the notification bell so you don't miss out when we go live. We'll be going live all this week. I'm catching up on all of the reality shows because the Candy Cane Gang is back. Mwah! I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.